Hello, this is Cuckoo right here in Bristol for the event called Bristronica, Machine and Bristronica. And I stopped by this colourful, beautiful booth here called Play All Day. And they have these lovely little, why don't you explain what it is?
Yeah, of course, mate. So it's a 2-channel CV and MIDI sequencer that's really centered around faders. And the faders essentially control your CV or pitch level, and then you have a white play key that's like your gate. So if you think of like moving left to right on a piano, that's your fader, and then pressing a note on the piano is pressing the play key. And that it is as simplest as kind of what it does. So it allows you to kind of like play musical kind of patterns without really having to know music theory in some sense as well. And then you can also have smooth voltage as well, so you can send it to modulation, and there's a few modulation options to make it talk nicely to pedals and Eurorack. And then the actual CV output can even be scaled between Eurorack and Buchla as well. And all along, the MIDI is duplicated over the top, and you can even have MIDI chords as well as MIDI notes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And it's called a Playfader, I forgot to say.
Yeah, and it's cool, and it's supposed to be a playful, portable little thing that can kind of fit into any setup, really. So it's got analog and MIDI clock in and out as well. So the idea is you can kind of rock up to your friend's house or go to a studio or just go and jam yourself, but just it can fit into everything that you want to throw it into.
Nice. Let's have a little look at the...
Shall I give you a bit of a description of what's going on here?
Yeah, sure.
So these three are kind of showcasing the different things that it does. So here we've got one voice being controlled on channel A, and that's pitched, quantized, and you can see the notes names being shown there as I move the fader. And then on the right, you have got a flashing line. That we have a soft takeover mode. It's part of the reason that we needed to do that for working with faders. So I can pick that up now. It starts flashing, and that is controlling the cutoff of the Atlantis. So just really simple patch here, pitch and filter cutoff. And this is doing pitch actually here on the left for another module, and then the right is being sent to the Nobular Echo Cinematic Delay, and it's kind of sending it into the delay, and then the fader's controlling the filter of the delay as well. And then on this side, this is really multifunctional. So you've got MIDI coming out playing the Hyra, but then on that same channel A, you've got 1.2 volt per octave going to the Buchla and being kind of converted here into the Buchla. And then on the right, you have this controlling by expression the reverb tail sends. And that's using this really cool cable by MyVolts, which is their new CV to expression cable.
Oh, right, nice.
Nice pretty lights at the top as well. It's really cool. So that is controlling the expression input of that. And yeah, so there's just an idea of kind of like what you can do with a Playfader. And there's lots of ways to play it.
It can record and play back movements, right?
Yeah, so you can record your movements and then jam over the top. It's really designed for jamming, basically. So you can drop a pattern in, play over the top. Your pattern's always there. You can apply effects like roll effects, transpose, random, LFO, and your pattern still kind of comes back when you want it. And the same applies for things like ratchet timing and your gate. You can do some really cool things with decoupling the recording of CV and gate as well. So you can record a gate pattern and then go and do a different CV pattern and then play another CV pattern over the top, but keep that rhythm going that you might have got. And yeah, it's got user scales as well as chromatic, major, minor.
How would you change between the scales?
Yeah, so along the top you've just got some simple kind of names here: fun, time, scale, and clear. So scale is, as you'd imagine, the scale setup menu, right? But scale selection is per channel, so that's set to user. The right is set to 5 volts for the filter cutoff. And if I want to change my user scale, I want to kind of have fun with my scale, right? That's my thinking. So the combo is fun and scale. And you hold fun and scale, and that's where you can set up and add notes in and out of your user scale. And you can see my fingers are already kind of like stretching across these combos, but we kind of thought of that. So we have actually something called window latch, where you can hold the menu in place and let go of the fingers that are holding the combo down. So, and that's really handy for like when you're setting up your user scale. You just double tap latch, and there it is. And that's more of a setup window, but it's really cool when you start using it for like fun effects. So when you press fun, you're in the fun effects menu, and a little bit like a pocket operator, you punch the effect in by pressing the play key. And instead of holding fun, you can double tap latch, let go, and now that allows you to play. This is actually roll, so it's changing the loop size of a loop you're going to grab when you press the play button. So you can actually play that loop size live as well as you grab it as well, because your fingers are freed up with the window latch thing. And latch is a bit of our secret sauce, really. It's kind of allows you to do some really cool musical things where it's latching play, allows you to keep the play button held, so the CV value is always going out. But if you've got a pattern recorded, you can jump backwards and forwards between the two. I'll give you an audio demo rather than talking, if you like.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
Put it into work. Put it into action.
Coming out of Ableton, and the clocks. It's got a MIDI clock coming in from Ableton, okay, and then everything else synced together. So just simply, like I said, pitch. So you can hear. So as I'm holding that, it's actually ratcheting. That's because my time menu is set to 16ths, and I can set that to different ratchets or just single unratcheted notes. So I could go. When I park the fader, it shows me what's recorded, right? But if I want to now lay a 16th ratchet over the top of that or around that pattern, and I'm holding a loop to record, by the way, or I don't have to, I can just play. So I can play.
That's fun.
So I just recorded those. And now, with the filter, I've got latch on here, so I'm not having to press play to output the CV. But if I unlatch that, you can see my recorded pattern is here.
Yeah.
And what's kind of nice to latch on here is when I latch channel A, the CV value is going to fit to the fader. So and then when you double tap latch, you drop back into your pattern. You can actually create some really interesting musical stuff just by using latch as well.
Yeah, nice.
And then now we've got a pattern. That's realistically when the fun kind of starts to happen, because you can play with it now. So you can transpose, and everything's momentary. So when I press play and when I let go, it makes my pattern. If I go to the roll effects here that I was showing you, so let me window latch that. I'm going to set it says dotted A. Can you hear that, right? You can do stuff like that. And I'm actually can use roll as well on my modulation, right? So I can actually capture a loop of the modulation. So yeah, and then you can jump back into your pattern and keep playing. The other important thing is each channel has two buffers, so you can actually have two completely different patterns on each buffer. And within each buffer, you can record quantized and unquantized CV in as well, all in the same pattern. So I've got really quantized stuff here. If I go and change from user scale to say 5 volts now, see? Now let me set that to smooth, to unquantize here. So now it's not going to stop every 16th. Let me give it a little longer tail. So now I've got a quantized thing with a nice smooth, and I can live record my transpose as well, which is really cool. So I've got that. If I just want to put like one note transpose up, and that's now just done a little bit of transposing.
Yeah.
Easier to hear when the filter's not doing madness. But yeah. So that's pretty much doing the same. And then this side is playing the buchla.
Via MIDI.
Huh?
So via MIDI.
Yep, no.
So all the
The IRA is being played via MIDI, but the buchla is actually coming out via CV up to this format jumper here, but it's set to 1.2 volts. So this will be in pitch with my. It should be in pitch with my Eurorack. Should we just have a look?
Yeah.
Okay. There you go. So buchla and Eurorack being played, and then I can send the reverb. The buchla is going into that reverb.
Yeah, nice. So it's all synced up, working well.
And you can use live mute stuff, and then I can do something on this. That's set to a 32-step pattern. And yeah, so you can just have loads of.
Yeah, cool. I think I get the gist of it. I'd love to know. Yeah, I faded out. I'd love to know more about what you went through to create all of this, because it's a lot of work to take a product into fruition.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, it was a lot of work. We started just before the pandemic. I got a prototype. First prototype was like 2 months before the pandemic started, and yeah, like everyone else, struggled with parts and stuff. But so I used to be a DJ. I'm a rubbish keyboard player, but I'm a massive synth fan. And I was like, I love sequencing stuff and programming sequences in, but being a DJ, I was kind of really wanted something that replaced that feel of upright faders. And I was also really curious, like, what can you do with a fader as like a control mechanism for pitch and for volume, with more looping and like more of that kind of recording looping functionality on the back. So I went to a very lovely guy called Jason Hodgkiss, who runs 64 Pixels and makes the CVOCD and the Hexaverted Mutant Brain. And Jason and I basically worked on this for a few years. Jason did all the programming, a lot of the really interesting solutions, like if you like the LED display, that was Jason's really clever solution to turn it sideways, and it's meant that we keep our power low, so it's only 4 milliamps, so we'll power off anything.
Yeah, what?
Yeah, like phone or anything. And then that's why it comes with a ripcord. We call it portable, but some people might be wondering why it doesn't have a battery. We don't want to put another battery in the world. There's lots out there. And we're trying to do something that's as sustainable as we can be. So like the enclosure, the yellow box there, is recycled plastic. And we're talking to a company in Italy that will soon hopefully be able to make us recycled acrylic, which is really quite tricky to get.
Oh, nice.
And so, yeah, we're trying to do things that, so this will be a product that will last for a while as well, right? We're not going to do a new firmware and make you get a new product. We'll do new firmware for this. And that's why we're now doing the color variations. So, yeah, this has just come out. This is the minimal. And it sits alongside our OG yellow candy colored buttons, which is over that one, that little fruity one. But with this one, yeah, we now do a conversion kit where you can get a grey case, the grey buttons in the top panel, and you can, if you've got a yellow, you can like mix and match, and you can customize it and ultimately personalize it, right? Because I think like anyone who, if you're a guitar player, you might personalize your guitar because you love it, right?
Oh yeah.
Like, and we do that with synths, we do that with panels and knobs, as you can see. I'm a bit guilty of it too. And like, yeah, so it just feels like it's more of a personal sort of device for you, and like comes with you. And the whole point is it goes with you everywhere. It packs up with a little wristband, and it's really robust. Chuck it in your bag, plug it in whenever you want.
So where does the actual manufacturing happen?
So we're doing everything in Europe. So the circuit boards are manufactured in Estonia, and various other bits in the UK. The cases are actually moulded near Brighton, where I live half my life, and then the other half of my life I'm in Cyprus, and that's why our final assembly is done in Cyprus.
Nice.
Yeah, I grew up there. and I really wanted to do something from there all my life. I always wanted to do something from there, and it's a troubled island, you know, and so so feel really proud. Actually, 2 weeks ago I finished my first assembly run in Cyprus, and it was great.
Oh, nice.
Felt really cool. And and we're doing some really interesting collaborations with people across the border for our next product, which I'll talk about another time. But yeah, it's very very personal to be back in Cyprus, and very proud of it.
Well, nice. Well, best of luck with this. Where can people go to pre-order or to order?
Yeah, so they're all available now. We can buy direct from us. We have free shipping this weekend over Machina. But if you're watching this after Machina, just drop us a note. I'm sure we can do something. And then they're also available from a few good retailers now. So in the US, you've got Perfect Circuit, and in the UK, you've got Signal Sounds, Elevator Sounds, who've done this, and Juno are getting some stock soon. And that's pretty much where we're at the moment. But if you
how much?
A retailer, how much?
How much are they at the moment?
€299. Yeah.
Nice. Well, thank you for showing me, and best of luck in the future. And with the secret next project, you kind of dropped a little hint on. So yeah,
I'll let you know.
Good luck. Thanks.
You're welcome. Thank you so much, man.